The Halal Times, the voice of Ummah. Indonesia, the world's third largest democracy and home to more than 280 million people, is in the grip of violent anti-government protests. What began as frustration over the rising cost of living has now exploded into nationwide unrest, fueled by anger at police violence, corruption among politicians, and soaring inflation. The protests have become the greatest challenge yet for President Prabowo Subianto, only months after he took office in October. The tipping point came with the tragic death of Affan Kurniawan, a 21-year-old motorcycle taxi driver. He was run over by a police vehicle during demonstrations in Jakarta. His death shocked the nation, and instead of calming down, the protests escalated into riots, arson, and deadly clashes. On Friday, President Prabowo appeared on national television, calling for calm and urging people to trust the government and my leadership. Yet, on the same night, protesters torched a 5-story building near the police headquarters in Jakarta's Kuitang neighborhood. By Saturday, the violence had already claimed more lives. 3 people killed in a council building fire allegedly set by demonstrators. Affan Kurniawan's funeral became a symbol of national anger. Thousands of riders and delivery workers joined the procession, turning it into a massive protest march. Jakarta's police chief and prominent politicians, including Anies Baswedan, attended, calling for justice and a transparent investigation. The police chief personally apologized, and 7 members of the Mobile Brigade Corps were found guilty of violating the force's code of ethics. Yet, for many Indonesians, apologies are no longer enough. At the heart of this unrest lies deep economic and political frustration. Reports revealed that Indonesia's 580 parliamentarians receive a housing allowance of 50 million rupiah per month, around $3,000, in addition to their already high salaries. To put this into perspective, that allowance is 10 times the minimum wage in Jakarta and nearly 20 times higher than the wages in rural parts of Indonesia. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens are struggling with inflation, stagnant wages, and rising food costs. For protesters, this is clear proof that the nation's politicians are out of touch and living in luxury while the people suffer. One of the protest organizers, Gejayan Memanggil, called Indonesia's lawmakers corrupt elites and demanded immediate salary cuts for parliamentarians. The unrest has also spilled onto social media, where platforms like TikTok amplified the anger of young Indonesians. In response, TikTok suspended its live streaming feature in Indonesia for several days, fearing that protests could spread further online. What began in Jakarta has now spread across the archipelago. From Bali, a major tourist hub, to cities like Bandung, Surakarta, Jawa Barat, and Medan, demonstrators are demanding accountability. Police, in turn, have responded with tear gas, water cannons, and arrests, but the response has only added to the anger on the streets. For President Prabowo Subianto, this crisis comes at a delicate moment. He even cancelled a planned state visit to China to deal with the turmoil at home. His leadership is now being tested not just by opposition parties, but by the streets themselves, the millions of young workers, students, and drivers who feel abandoned by the state. The protests in Indonesia are no longer just about one tragic death or one corrupt allowance. They are about a deeper crisis of trust between the people and those in power. Will President Prabowo's government listen to the demands of the people, cut corruption, and bring justice? Or will Indonesia spiral further into violence and instability? Only time will tell. That's all for today. If you found the video informative, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Jazakum Allahu khairan.